I'm going to start talking about rounding numbers. So this is still chapter 1, but now we are going to talk about rounding numbers. So can you give me a reason why rounding numbers might be useful? Why do we make you suffer through it?
So that you can, like if you have a number like 71, and instead of exactly, like if you have to count on your money or something, and
I would want to know exactly whether
like not counting money, but like saving money.
that's important. You don't want to mess around with your. Just sometimes rounding numbers may be ease of communication and estimation. We'll use it a lot for estimation, and we'll see why do we want to. So let's think about it. Let's look at a scenario. Let's say you know you want to go to a shop and you have to pay some money, and maybe something like this. So you're buying some potatoes. This is like, you have to go and buy these potatoes, right? So you have to buy some cereal, which is going to be around 34 rupees. And you're going to buy some cookies, which is going to be around 19 rupees. And you're going to buy some nuts. These days it's cold. You want to get some nuts, 83 rupees. And there's some milk, which is 57 rupees. Okay. Now, how much money should you take from your mother to go to the market? That's the question. Now, one way is that you exactly compute everything and figure out what the answer is. Another way is because you're not going to tell her, give me 173 rupees or something like that. That's going to be hard. You want to get some estimate, right? So maybe what you can do is you can estimate this quickly as 50, 30, 20, 80, 60, and then you get about 240, which means 250 rupees will work for you.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that is helpful when you're trying to do rounding off. So now, so for example, so अभी हम जो बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, right now we're going to talk about जो है rounding off to the nearest 10. Let's say you're trying to round off to the nearest 10. Rounding off to the nearest 10. Okay. So what does rounding off to the nearest 10 mean? So let's say take a number like 48. So here's 40 and here is 50, right? And you have maybe 45 here. So 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 and 50. So you are at 48 here. So the only question is, are you closer to 50 or are you closer to 40? And are you closer to 48 or to 50 or 40? 50. So then you round it off to 50. That's what you do. So now the natural question arises, what do you do if you're found at 45? Sorry?
I know what you do.
What do you do?
You round up because it's convention.
So if you're 45, if you round 45 is rounded to 50, so you round up. So this means round up. And that's a convention. So what does a convention mean? It is a convention. Okay, so what's the difference between, so for example, rounding, let me just say and then you can add up. So यहाँ पे rounding made sense because when we said we are rounding to the nearest 10, what it meant was, okay, actually, let's say you have to pay somebody 48 rupees. And you only have 10 rupee notes, and that guy also only has 10 rupee notes. So everybody just deals with 10 rupee notes. That's what rounding to the nearest 10 means. So let's say I have to pay you 48 rupees, I only have 10 rupee notes, and we want to be fair to both of us. So the only option is I can either give you 40 rupees or 50 rupees. if I give you, excuse me, 40 rupees, excuse me, what happens is you lose 8 rupees, which is bad because you were supposed to get 48 rupees.
But in the other case,
I lose 2 rupees only. So on average, we are losing less as a combined entity. Okay, पहले हम 8 rupees you and I were losing. Otherwise, इस case में you and I are losing 2 rupees. Okay, you are gaining 2 rupees, I am losing 2 rupees. वहाँ पे I was gaining 8 rupees and you were losing 8 rupees. So 8 rupees losing is not a good place. 2 rupees losing is a better place. That's why we choose 50 as a good approximation to be fair to both of us. 45 में, in both cases, अगर मैं 40 दूँ या 50 दूँ, the answer is the same. 5 rupee loss to one person, either to you or to me. So then why do we choose 50? Because it's a convention. What does a convention mean?
a convention is like a rule that doesn't have any meaning.
Yeah, not have a meaning, doesn't have a reason, doesn't have a good reason. A convention, it's just a rule with no reason, with no good reason. You see, for example, वहाँ पे it was a good reason. Right? वहाँ पे there was a good reason because we were trying to reduce losses. So वहाँ पर it made sense. यहाँ पे one day you could round up, the other day you could round down, and that would be perfectly fine too. It might be even fairer, right? लेकिन हमें math में, okay, the problem would be if I ask you to round off 45, so let's say you're an accountant and you round off 45 to 50, and now next day I change my accountant over 45 को 40 कर दे, things will get very messy and ugly. So इसलिए हमें एक convention adopt करनी पड़ी है कि rounding off will mean round up to 50. That's what we do. Okay, is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now let's try to do 2 or 3 problems, and I think you seem quite comfortable with rounding. So rounding to the nearest 10. So right now we are rounding to the nearest 10. Let's try to round, let's do a problem which is 234. So let's do a problem like round 234. First let's round to the nearest 10, and then let's round to the nearest 100 also at the same time. Nearest 10, and then let's round to the nearest 100. Okay, so इसका मतलब ये है, nearest 100 का मतलब ये है कि we only have 100 rupee notes, we don't have any 10 rupee notes or 1 rupee note. Okay, so how do we round to the nearest 10? 234, what's the number?
230.
230, and why is that? Because remember, yeah.
Look at the number on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10, the nearest 10, the 10 space is 30.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So you look at the number on its right,
Mm-hmm.
and you decide if it's more than 5
Or 5,
you
you round up. Yeah,
And if
that's the
it's
algorithm.
5,
Absolutely, you round down. And so now I want you to think, so अगर आपके पास सिर्फ 10 rupee notes or higher हो, so first I have to give you, so I want you to think more intuitively. I have to give you 234 rupees. So I have a 100 rupee note, 100 rupee note, 200 rupee note, I've given you 200. I still have to give you 34. I have 10 rupee notes. I give you 1 10 rupee note, 2 10 rupee notes, 3 10 rupee notes. So I've already given you 230. That I can do. So this is 230, this is 240, this is 235 in the middle, right? And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 234, right? So if this is, this is 234. So now I have a choice. I've already given you 230. We can just say I don't have any 1 rupee notes and I'm sorry, and we are done. So how much loss did you incur? 4 rupee loss. Or I can give you another 10 rupee note, and
then there would be a loss of 6 rupees.
of 6 rupees to you. So that's why That's why exactly what you said. Okay, you look at this digit, which is the next digit to the tens, which is the ones place. You see if it is 5 or more, then you round up, and if it is 5 or less, if it is less than 5, you round down. Okay, great. So that's the answer to this one. So this will be 230. What about the nearest 100? 234. I only have now 100 rupee notes.
100. It would be.
So now remember, the answer is
200.
200. Exactly, great. So I want to think about it. We can think about it your way too, but I'll think about it my way first. Which is, I only have 100 rupee notes now, or 1000 rupee notes. Anything bigger than 100. I don't have anything smaller than 100. So now what are the choices?
You can give me 200 rupee notes.
Which is 200.
200.
Or I can give you
Or you could give me 3
100 rupee notes, which is 300. That's it. That's the only choice I have. Right? This will be 250. Again in the middle. This would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now this is 230. Right? So 234 will be somewhere over here. This will be 234. Right? So now, if I give you two 100 rupee notes, how much do you lose?
I lose 34.
34 rupees, exactly. Now if I am nice and I give you another 100 rupee note, I give you 300 rupees, how much do I lose?
Yeah, like that.
What is?
That is 300.
Minus 234, but the answer is, so it's really 100 minus 34. Don't think of 234, right? It's just 100 minus 34. Because 300 minus 200 is 100. That's easy. So it's just 100 minus 34.
20.
No. This is 300 to 200 is 100. This distance is 34. Do you understand this? This distance is 100, right? This is 100. This is 34. So how much is this?
100 minus 34.
Which is?
100 minus 30 is 70.
Yeah.
And then 100 minus 34 would be
60. No, because 34 is more. So you will go lower.
lower. And then
66. Because 66 plus 34 is 100. The faster way to do it is figure out you're in the 60s, then you know okay, यहाँ पे 34 है, तो 4 plus 6 is 10. That's why you want to get to 66. Okay? So you can either lose 34 or either you can lose 34 or I can lose 66. So we want to be fair. That's why your loss of 34 is accepted, and when we round to 200. Okay? And you should be able to, when you're subtracting, always do reverse addition. Right? Quickly figure out, I want to do 100 minus 34, so the answer is going to be in the 60s because the number is bigger than 30s. So anything that I'm subtracting, देखो 100 minus 30 is 70, which means जब 100 minus 30 कुछ करोगे तो the answer 60s में आएगा, 70 तक नहीं जा सकता. So now it's going to be in the 60s. How many 60s? Well, that's 4 plus 6 is 10, so that's why it's going to be 66. That's how you want to subtract, like reverse addition with a weird flip. Okay, so let's try another problem, which is this is the last problem. Mr. Ricky sold his car for 34,125. Round off this amount to the nearest 100. So 34,125, and we want to round it to the nearest 100. So we can use your algorithm. Can you look at the middle? Yeah. So use your algorithm. What's the answer?
34,100.
Yeah, the algorithm says if you want to approximate rounded to nearest 100, right? So One thing is 34,125 would be rounded off. This is like the symbol that you can use for this. This would be 34,100. But in various symbols, approximately equal to, rounded off, whatever. I don't care. Another way to think about it is, I only have hundreds, thousands, and $10,000 bills. So I have to give you 34,125. So I first give you how much? How many $10,000 bills do I give you? I give you three $10,000 bills. So that is done. Then I give you how many $1,000 bills? Four $1,000 bills. So now how much more do I have to give you?
125.
I have to give you 125. So now I have a choice. I can either give you one bill, that would be 100, or I can give you two bills. If I give you two $100 bills, how much money did you get?
If give two, so I get 200.
200, right? So 34,000 to pehle hi ja chuka hua hai, right? 34,000 is already gone, right? I have already given you 34,000 is already gone. The only question is whether I'm going to give you 100 or 200, right? So now this is 150. Here will be about 125. This will be 125. This will be 125. So if I give you a $100 bill, how much money do you lose? 25 rupees. Yeah, $25 or rupees or whatever. This is 25. And if I give you another $100 bill to give you $200 bills, 200s, so how much money do I lose?
You lose 200 minus 20.
Never do 200 minus this, because ये फासला कितना है?
This is 200.
No, this is 100.
This is 100.
Right? This is 100 because it's 200 minus 100, so this is always 100. We always get down, right? I mean, जब हम आखिर में आ गए थे, the only question was $100 bill or 110 bill, right? आखिरी सवाल जो रहता है उसमें जो फासला होता है वो 10 या 100 या 1000 का होगा. If you were to approximate to 1000, then the last 1000. बात समझ आ गई? It's never 200 or 300 or 500. It's always 100, 10,000, 10,000, whatever जहाँ तक आप approximate कर रहे हैं. Okay, so now it's the last 100. Now अगर ये 25 ये तो ये कितना distance होगा? You should know that 100 minus 25 should be hardwired. Is 1,000, yeah, is 100. So what is 25 threes are?
25 threes are 75.
Yeah, 75. That's what you. So this is 75. Because there are 25 fours and 3 25s are here and 1 25 is here. So you should know this. 3 quarters make 75 cents and all those things. This is a number that should be hardwired into your brain. Okay? 75 is hardwired into your brain. It's not calculated, it's hardwired. Hardwired ka matlab hota hai, it's already there. Like 2 plus 2 is 4 is hardwired. You don't say 2 plus 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't do that. You just say 4. So 25 threes are 75 is hardwired. Okay? 100 minus 25, 75 hardwired. Okay? 25 sixes are 150 hardwired. Okay. So that means either you can lose 25 or I can lose 75, and then we prefer that you lose 25, so then it comes out to be 34,100. Yeah. And if we were to, let's do one more, let's do the last one, which is maybe last one. This is actually the last problem, I think, and we are not. This is a pretty reasonable. So let's draw round our $47,984. To the nearest 100. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so how do we start? I have to pay you 47,984 rupees. How do I start paying you? I only have 100 rupee bills or higher. 100,
Yes.
1,000, 10,000,
Yes.
सारे हैं.
So first you give me 4 10,000.
So okay, so now how much do I have to pay you?
Then there's 7,984.
Yeah, okay, so now 7,984. Okay,
Now you give me
1,000. So now I'm left with how much?
984.
Okay, now is something that we have to worry about, right? So now I can start paying you bills. So now you see that now the problem is now down to 984. The 47,000 is gone क्योंकि मैंने पहले ही आपको वो पे कर दिया हुआ है. अब सिर्फ 984 की प्रॉब्लम रहेगी. Now what do I do with 984? Help me. I only have 100 rupee notes.
You give me.
एक दे रहा हूँ मैं आपको. How much do I? What's the choice?
You can either give me 900 rupee notes
Or
or
10 100 rupee notes. 10 100 rupee notes is 10
Yes.
100. Right? 100 represents this by 2 zeros. This is 10. 10 100. Which is nice about the place value. You can think of this as 1,000 or 10 100 or 100 tens or 1,000 ones. However you want to think about it. Okay? Yeah. That's the only choice that we have. Okay. Now let's think. यहाँ पे बीच में क्या होगा?
950.
Shabash. That's good. 950. So this would be, where's 984? Here or here?
984 would be.
Here. Yeah, somewhere over here. This is where, this is 984. So now if I give you 900, only how much money do you lose?
84.
84 rupees. So your loss is going to be 84. And how much is this distance?
This is 100.
Yeah, exactly. It's 100 because the difference is only 100, right? So this distance is only 100. Okay. And if I were to sort of give you 10 100 rupee notes, how much would I lose?
100.
I would not lose 100. What would I do the calculation? It would be 100. What's this distance?
100 minus 84.
Which is
100 minus 80.
which is 20. That means the answer is going to be in the tens. बात समझ आ गई? 100 minus 80 is 20, so it has to be less than it. Tens. And 4 plus 6 is 10. 6, yeah. So 64 plus 16, this is 16. So either I can lose 16 rupees or you can lose 84 rupees.
So you would lose 16.
Sadly true, I would lose 16 rupees now, right? So now how much money did you actually get? So 47,984. So actually you got 10 100s, which is the same as a,
1,000.
so you already had 47,000
Yes.
and now you'll get
48.
48,000. Yeah. So this would get approximated to 48,000. Is this clear?
Yes.
Any questions? Oh, good. So now we can, okay, let's do, sorry, I lied. We have to do one more problem. I apologize for my lying. Let's do problem about some estimation. Okay. Just any page, page 17 or something. And then we are actually done. Actually done. Which is, let's look at, let's estimate. So we have 712 plus 492. We want to estimate it. And then we want to calculate it. So 712 plus 492. First we want to estimate, then calculate. So
First you estimate.
yeah, first always estimate first, calculate later. Okay, so how do we estimate it?
This would be 700
Yeah.
plus 500.
Oh, so now we are doing it to the nearest 100 because we just want to figure out. So 700 plus 500 would be,
1,200.
I would call it 1200. I like it to say 7 plus 5 is 12. That's what is easier to remember. So I'll call it 1200, right? And now you can do the formal addition and you'll get an answer, which is whatever 1204. Okay. Now the thing is, why did you estimate to the nearest 100? Because it's interesting. You didn't estimate to the nearest tens. You could have, but you chose not to.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
You could have said these are 71 tens and 49 ones, and you could have added 71 to 49 and you would have still gotten the same answer, but you chose not to. That's interesting. Let's try another one. So if I gave you another answer, let's try another one. 278 plus 711, what would you do?
Just like the way we
Yeah.
278 would be 300.
300 plus 700, which would be 1000, which is 1000. Yeah, but again you are doing it naturally to 100, right? And the reason, so okay, let me try another one, although it's not in the book, but it doesn't kill us to go outside the book, does it? Does it kill us if we go outside the book? It does? Okay, very good. So let's try another one. So this is going to be like 300 plus 700, which is 1000, and this is whatever you get, 9 and 8 and 9. So yeah, this is a good. So this is the reason why you first. So I'll come back to about going outside the book. Again, what the important idea is, always it gives you a good sense of the answer is close to it, right? This answer is close to it. It's off by 11. This is off by 4. So exact calculations need always be checked by estimation. It's a very important skill. But let's look at another problem. Let's say I want you to, I don't know, let's calculate 3,842 with added to 5,196. Estimate it and just tell me the answer.
4,000 plus 4,000 plus 5,000 is 9,000.
Yeah. But you now estimated to the thousands. You didn't estimate it to the hundreds. You could have.
Oh, yes.
Or the tens. You chose to do it in the thousands. Okay? Because the numbers that you were dealing with are, so the answer is, sorry, maybe you can come up with the answer.
Was it because the first, like, the digit was like 1,000?
Yeah.
And then
The numbers you're dealing with are now both in the thousands. So it's sensible to estimate in the thousands. Because both numbers are 3,000 and 5,196. So then you'll add them and you'll say, well, you estimated this to be 4,000 plus 5,000, and the answer turned out to be 9,000, and you can see that the answer turns out to be 8, 9 and 4, 13, 3 carry 1, 9 and 1, 10, 0 carry 1. I hope I did it correctly, but something like this. Okay, so you can see that you got the right answer by estimating to the thousands. But now, and this is what we're going a bit outside the book where it doesn't kill us. It hasn't killed us yet. Hopefully it won't kill us yet. Let's try another one. Now what? How do you estimate this? You want to get an estimate of how much this is. How do you estimate it?
35,000 plus
1,000.
plus 1,000.
36,000.
36,000.
So now you estimate to the nearest 1,000 but not to the nearest 10,000. Right? Now let me do another evil thing. Okay, now what do you want to estimate it?
35,000 plus 200.
Okay, that's one way to do it, but that's being a bit inconsistent because you estimated this to the thousands and this to the hundreds.
But then how am I supposed to?
You could either do it as 348 hundreds plus 2 hundreds, which would be 350 hundreds, which would be 348 plus 2 is 350 with 2 zeros coming in. So this would be equal to 348 hundreds plus that we're trying to estimate to the nearest 1,000. So if I give you 1,000 rupees, either I can give you no money, right? The choice is no money or 1,000.
No money would be better.
No money is better, right? Because otherwise, if I give you no money, you lose 157.
Yeah.
If I give you 1,000, you lose 843 rupees because 800 is clear and 43 because 5700 minus. So either you can lose 800, either I can lose 843 or you will lose 157. You losing 157 is better. So this would be plus 0 and the answer would be 35,000. Okay?
It's very weird.
Why?
Because, like, over here, like, you get the same answer.
But that's just an accident. So we could have chosen different numbers. Let's try this. Then, अगर हमारा ये estimation यही होती 35,000 plus 0 would be 35,000. Agree?
Yeah.
लेकिन यहाँ पे क्या change होता?
यहाँ पे
Hundreds.
yeah.
क्या आंसर आना था? यहाँ पे क्या change? 34?
34.
How many hundreds?
340. No. 348 hundreds.
नहीं, यहाँ पे ये क्या है? ये number क्या है?
34,000.
742. What's the choice? I am approximating to the nearest 100. So पहले मैंने आपको कितने पैसे दिए शुरू में?
Should you give me
34,742 को I am estimating. Okay. So tell me, how will I estimate 34,000 to the nearest 100? How will I do that?
35?
नहीं अभी ना करो. Just don't rush. Slowly. I have to give you money. I have 100 rupee notes. और कौन से मेरे पास notes हैं?
100 rupee notes?
Uh-huh.
1,000 rupee notes?
10,000 rupee notes. So how much has? Let me start paying you. Start it.
First, you have to give me 3
Yeah.
10,000
दे
rupee
दिए.
notes. Then 4,000 rupee notes.
Okay. Now how am I left with?
742 rupees.
Okay. Now how much? I give you, start giving you $100 bills, right? 100 rupee notes. So कितने देता हूँ?
Give me
7 100 rupee note. अब मैं आपको 8वां दूँ या ना दूँ is a question. Do I give it to you or do I not give it to you?
you do not give it.
Yeah, I don't give it to you because that's where you lose 42 rupees, otherwise I lose 58 rupees. Okay, is this clear? So what's the approximation?
34,700.
Yeah, so this is 34,700, right? To the nearest 100 हम कह रहे हैं. And what about 157? इसको approximate करूँ to the nearest 100 क्या आएगा?
200.
200. So when you add them up, what do you get? 34,900, right? Which is not the same as, जबकि अगर मैं इस नंबर को to the nearest 1,000 approximate करूँ,
Yeah.
पहले मैंने 30 दिए, फिर आपको 4 दिए, 34,000 दे दिए. अब the question is, do I pay you the 5,000 or not?
No.
No? Why? If I don't give it to you, how much do you lose?
I lose
42.
742.
If I give you the 1,000, how much do you lose? How much do I lose?
1,000.
Minus 742, which is how much? Can you quickly do it? 1,000 minus 700 is 200, 300. That means the answer will be in the 200s. 200, and now 42 plus something is going to make 100. Do you know what 42 plus something is going to make 100? 58. So it's going to be 258. बात समझ आई है या नहीं?
Yes.
Are you sure? Look, 1,000 minus 742 is what we are trying to do quickly, right? I don't want to do it in the long way. 1,000 minus 700, 300, the answer is in the 200s. So now I only need to figure out how much do I need to add to 42 to make it into 100, and that's 58. Because 50 plus 40 is 90 and 8 plus 2 is 10, that's what's going to make it into 100. So that the answer is going to be 258. So that means if I give you another 1,000, I will lose 258, and if I don't give you 1,000, you lose 742. Which one is better?
Me losing
258. So if I don't give it to you,
yes.
you will lose 742.
Yes.
If I give it to you, I will lose 258.
So you should give it
Yeah, so then the approximation should be
34,000. No.
742 को हम thousands में कर रहे हैं, तो what should be the approximation? 35,000. So that's the correct approximation still. Or 157 की correct approximation is still 0. So that means the answer is 35,000. So you see now, if you approximate to the nearest 1,000, this is approximating to thousands. और यहाँ पे we approximated to hundreds. And the answers are different, right? 34,900 and 35,000. So in general, although it's not a rule, but in general approximating to the hundreds will in general lead to a more accurate answer, but it requires a bit more pain because now you have to add 347 to 2 to give you 349. जबकि वहाँ पे you just have to add 35 to 0 to give you 35. That's easier. So again, if you do a coarser approximation, like bigger number, thousands, अगर आप 10,000 तक करें, that's going to convert into 30,000. If I approximate this to 10,000, this is going to become 30,000, it's going to become 0, the answer is going to be 30,000, which is even a coarser approximation.
But you can still round off to the nearest 100.
You can round off to nearest 10, nearest 100, nearest 1,000, nearest 10,000. It depends on the denomination and the kind of numbers that you're dealing with. यहाँ पे doing it to the nearest 100 made sense because the smallest denomination was in the hundreds. So probably hundreds made sense. Lekin a lot of it is a very intuitive kind of a thing जिसमें आपका वो नहीं है कोई like there is no hard and fast rules. तो इम्तिहान में या बुक में आपको बताया होता है whether you should approximate to the nearest 10, 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. लेकिन real life में, which is where my interest is, not in the exam, real life mein, you have to be able to do anything and do something that is reasonable. And I can't define what reasonable is. You see, if you were dealing with even larger numbers, then you wouldn't care about the hundreds. And if you don't care about the hundreds, in general, if you don't care about the hundreds, then approximate to the thousands. If you care about the hundreds, then approximate to the hundreds. So that's sort of the general rule. So I have to buy something for 64,942 and something else for 23,811 and another thing for 17,042. To what should I approximate? I want to get an approximate. Yeah, I just want to get a sense. And then मैं किसको approximate करूँ? Should I approximate to the hundreds? And I have to buy a bottle of Coke too, which is going to cost me 120 rupees. So what should I approximate to? Hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, what should I do?
64,000.
किस पे approximate? I'm not asking you the answer. What should I approximate it to? Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, what should I approximate it to?
1,000?
Yeah, 1,000 makes sense, this case mein. Because most of the numbers are in thousands, so approximating the thousands makes sense, right? So that would be 65 plus 24 plus 17 would be the answer, whatever it is, right? Approximating to hundreds would be too silly. It would be too complex. You could even approximate to the nearest 10,000 if you wanted to be really coarse, which would be 60 plus 20, 80 plus 20, which is 100,000. So the number, that's also not a bad approximation.
Yeah.
So either thousands or 10,000 would be a reasonable number. But there's no hard and fast rule. That's what I want you to get across. Okay, all set. So, so we have done chapter 1 and we will, we haven't done chapter 1.
No.
We have to do,
A lot more.
we'll quickly finish off chapter 1, but we'll take a break and we'll come back. So we break later and then we'll come